Hello, Night City. We're here on PlayStation 5 taking a look at the next generation version of Cyberpunk 2077. And that's the controller making noise because it does now. It's also got dual sense, well, trigger stuff and movement and advanced, haptics and everything like that. It's pretty upgraded. So what we're getting here on the PlayStation 5 is two options. So you can go to settings and you can go to the video. You got an HDR mode option, so you can change how that works if you have HDR on. And we've got performance, and we've got ray tracing. So with the performance mode, you're getting 60 FPS. With the ray tracing, you're getting 30 FPS. So okay, let's dive into it. So this is supposed to be your high quality mode. We've got ray traced shadows, no reflections or anything, and that in itself is kind of a little disappointing, that's for sure. I was definitely expecting something a little bit more than that. So it's dynamic 4K, both the options are dynamic 4K. Again, ray tracing is literally just shadows, drops it down to 30 FPS. Really not, it's nice to have realistic shadows, it's maybe something to take a look at, but without the whole kind of reflections and stuff, I don't quite see the point of it. It uses SSR, screen space reflection, so it's kind of like, why bother? I think doing the 4K 60 mode with the performance is the way to go. It looks great, plays well. While it is 4K 60 dynamic, and actually apparently we're getting more like, 1440p, so keep that in mind, that it's not like a full 4K. And yeah, so this is actually a much better way to play the game. This is what we should have had when the game originally launched. This is a great starting point for future Cyberpunk content. So I am pretty much a fan of Cyberpunk. I played it originally on Stadia all the way through, then I played it on Xbox all the way through. I've been covering the next-gen update on Xbox, and when an opportunity came up to take a look at the PS5 version, I was like, yeah, of course. Definitely want to look at this and see what it's like. So that's kind of why we're checking this out today. So if you're not familiar with Cyberpunk, it is, based within the cyberpunk genre. You are trying to deal with this crazy implant and all these wild characters in this expansive and large-scale and generally beautiful next-generation type city. So really quite expansive, and again, a very neat place to visit and explore. It does load faster now, which is nice. It still takes a little bit of time sometimes to go to places with the fast traveling. I thought it was something I would show off. But yeah, you actually get, good crowd density. You get unique locations. The controller stuff, interactive, perhaps a little bit annoying at times. But yeah, the biggest difference here is we're finally getting a city that feels lively. A world that feels like it has stuff going on in it. And I think that's really exciting. Day-night cycles, it's got some, weathering stuff going on. A ton of annoying little messages from characters and that to let you know that you can do all this stuff. But yeah, it's a beautiful experience. It's also an RPG. You make your own character. You've got different clothing items. You've got customization. You can now go into mirrors and change how your character looks on the fly. You can get apartments. You can find hidden secrets. You can do different things you gotta do. It's a big world. There's Pacifica. There's this wasteland out in the back. There's this heavy, dense area. There's a lot of I want to say Japanese-esque infused design and stuff in the world. There's a crafting system, an upgrade system. You have different weapons, different tools, you can do different builds, you can make different characters with different perks. If you are revisiting the game, your perk system will be reset, so you do have to actually choose that again if you are again coming to revisit. And yeah, it's just a really great experience. It seems to be running smoothly, it's a lot of fun. I love the cyberpunk genre. I think it's really cool. I think it's just a really neat sort of place, and I think this game actually offers a fairly lengthy experience that you can enjoy with a good level of, kind of combat to it, missions where you make some choice elements. Oh, really? You're gonna kind of run off there? Unbelievable. And it's just it's a very well done experience, in my opinion. and something that I've always kind of wanted as a genre. And I know it had like a bit of a, well, needless to say, rough launch, but I think they've actually, with this update, gotten it to a point where you can be enjoying the action. Wow, I am having a very hard time stealing a car. Normally, I guess I would have a car available to me. Really? Thank you. I am taking this vehicle. Unbelievable. So yeah, then there's different like radio stations and stuff, and different mechanics for going around. We're just gonna turn that off. We've turned off audio copyright too, because that could be an issue, but... Oh, you're just gonna chill in the vehicle with me? Okay, cool. So they've redone the driving mechanics in this a lot. They have really revamped that experience so that, well, you know, so that it actually like kind of handles a little bit more realistically. So you might appreciate that if you are coming into this game and revisiting it. The driving is a lot better. The world seems to handle quite well. I do notice that there's like some of the road stuff seems to like kind of load a little bit as you go through, if that makes sense. Like it's got like I don't know if that's some sort of like dynamic kind of element to it, but for the most part it is quite sharp. And again, just like the Cyberpunk city I kind of always dreamed of. The characters react more naturally to what you're doing. And like I said, I actually quite like the story here. You've got your own personal V character. Ah, man, there's so many messages I am getting from these characters, like constantly on this. Kind of make these choices, and you go through this exciting narrative where you are trying to save yourself, basically. It starts off with you ending up in a situation where you're doing a big heist thing, and nothing goes well, or everything goes wrong, I guess you could say. And then you're working with this Keanu Reeves type character. He says, "Hey, samurai." And I always thought that was interesting, and I really want these characters to stop calling me constantly. They are just getting a little annoying. This is the part of the game where everything opens up. It's a few hours in or whatever from doing like the story stuff, and the perfect point to be like exploring and seeing what the world has to offer. But to get on pace, you're teamed up with Keanu, you see him in the world, he's like a figure, a ghost type figure, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. And it's like a race against the clock to improve your character, deal with these challenges, and get the mission done before everything goes bad. And another text message, oh my. They really just do not stop, do they? But yeah, you get to explore this vast world. It's got a great sense of music and combat and scale to it. Like, it really does feel very expansive and like an exciting place to see. Filled with so many wondrous type activities, crazy over-the-top moments, insane action, augmentations to improve your character. And I really quite like using blades. I don't have that set up on this particular build. But yeah, there's like really neat, you know, type of melee builds you can do, or more combative, or you can be more tech focused. You know, it is an RPG as well as a shooter, so you make these changes and these adjustments to really dynamically, you know, kind of create the setup you want to, which is really cool.
My name is Dakota Smith.
Yeah, I know, you're so annoying, all you people calling me. Oh, you know, you're getting out here, I gotta teach you all these things. But we're gonna drive onto the wasteland, because a big thing for me is, you know, before this update, you know, the wasteland, when you went through it, it was a place that was kind of like you'd see a lot of pop-in with different like trees and stuff as you went through it, and little brush and everything like that. But now it just kind of is all smoothly loading. It looks good, it feels good to play, like it's smoothly running. You know, it really is just that cyberpunk-esque experience that I kind of really always saw out of this one, potential-wise, and something that we didn't quite get until now. And it feels like a whole new game, almost. And I forgot how exciting and kind of engaging, like, the whole opening really is. It's really quite cool. I am totally gonna break into this and steal this vehicle. Thanks, and I'm just gonna go in and turn off that music. But yeah, let's drive off a bit into the wilderness, just so you can kind of see that, again, you know, the pop-in and stuff is handled so much better now. It would literally be beside you that you would be seeing, like, you know, plants and stuff. And it's just like, it's such a nice upgrade. And and there's like a neat sense of really feeling as if you're part of like this far future society in this like crazy place. Like you just get to see some gorgeous visual sights, make some choices here or there, and it's just, to me, it's a very well done game. I thoroughly enjoy this experience. I always enjoyed it, but now you can actually kind of see what they were aiming for. Like this, as I was saying, should have been what we experienced when this game launched. This is the one that has that potential to actually be like a really, really great experience that so many people can have a lot of fun in, engage in these long, like the main story is like 20 plus hours, not to mention doing, you know, side activities and everything like that. Like I said, I've worked through it all the way through twice already, so I definitely have a little bit of a gist of it. And there's also a whole like new system for time of day in order to get like the right time of day going if you want to switch things around. The city itself is quite gorgeous at night if you actually visit it and you drive through and you see all the, you know, the augmented lights and stuff. It's quite spectacular. And again, the 4K 60 mode for me is kind of the way to go when it comes to actually getting that balance of, you know, performance and visuals that look really good. I wish I could kind of keep this vehicle almost, but I'm thinking we should head back into the city with a fast travel just so you can see more of that. I wanted to drive out here because I want to show off, you know, the variety of different areas just so you can actually see how much this has changed, how much this has actually been like visually quite improved. So we're gonna go back to the Arasaka Tower and then we're gonna head down the boulevard area. So combat is largely, you know, shooting. There's covers that you can take advantage of. There's grenades. There's health, little puffers you can kind of puff while you're doing stuff. And it's a really engaging, narrative-driven adventure. This is something where, you know, there's story going on. You are battling along for your life, but you're also going out and having fun, doing some side activities. There are some actually pretty well done romance elements to it where you are kind of working with, depending on male or female V, you know, you get different romance options. But you can end up with, like, you know, all of these different situations for these characters that you meet and you interact with. And you, that might have been a bad fault, oh, or good. And you never really know what's going to happen. Like, you know, Pan Am's great, Judy's great. I think some people like River. I've never done that one. But, yeah, you know, you just get some really well done romance subplots, and they've upgraded that too, so that now you can have some extra message things going on with them, and I think that is a really nice touch. This is also something I quite like because it's very much a mature title. This is something for the adult audience. Like, there is gore, there is, like, you know, nudity, sexual type content. Like, it very much is for an audience type that doesn't necessarily get catered to a whole lot in gaming. And I think that's really quite exciting. And you can make some choices here or there for that kind of stuff. But it's just really nice to have this type of experience. I really do appreciate it. Did I just, like, slide into someone and take over their vehicle? Yeah. So there's still, you know, some things here or there. But for the most part, I really am truly happy with this improvement. Like, the game really just smoothly is running. It's looking good. This is that next-gen experience for Cyberpunk that I think a lot of people have been waiting for and wanting to see. You know, it brings all of the promise and excitement that we were kind of, you know, almost being teased of when this was first presented to us. And I think that in itself is quite exciting. And there are, like, so many activities you can do as well, like I've been mentioning. Like, you can go and fight the cyber things. There's, like, these random assault things going on that you can deal with. There are, like, little extra gigs. You meet different characters and you do these different missions and you gain more, I guess you would say, influence or at least opportunities to do other stuff. There are, like, clubs you can go to, buildings you can explore and visit. They just have a lot going on in this one. It's something you can really sink your teeth into, at least in my opinion, if you like what it has to offer. You can get a really lengthy and well done story out of this. For me, you know, you take a look at shooters, I don't really see too many that are even close to the length of this one in terms of the main story that you do. It truly is an impressive offering, and I feel like they've really kind of finally hit that mark, and I'm hoping that this is a launching point we're getting some interesting expansions because we're supposed to have some actual story stuff. We do have some additional content that is free and added to the game, changing the V's appearance in the mirrors, the V's apartments, the weapon scopes, all this stuff. This is all new alternative outfits for like good old Johnny there. So they've actually added, you know, some free content similar to like what they did with The Witcher 3, which I think is great. I think it's nice that they did that kind of thing to, you know, kind of expand upon the offering of what this experience has to offer. And I hope this driving around has kind of given you a little bit of more context in regards to, you know, kind of the open world and stuff like that. We are going to try to... This is all very dangerous stuff. There's a lot of gigs and... okay, let's go and do danger very high, danger very high. Let's go and try to tackle a combative scenario. Oh no, not my car. The car looks pretty nice though, right? Because I want to show off a little bit of combat as well, because I'm sure that's important for people. It's just my character is like not, you know, quite the character I have in my regular playthrough area, because that one, you know, can like fly around with like jet boot things, kind of like, you know, do high jumps, whereas this one is just like a very kind of easygoing sort of new character, essentially. I mean, I'm a decent level, but not like a level to really be kicking it. So let's see how this goes when I don't have my kind of great weapon. Okay, I can do no damage, and they basically killed me, so that was a bad idea. That did not work out. Yeah, no, they taught VLS, and that is for sure. And you can create manual saves, or there's other saves, and you have to use fast traveling points to fast travel and whatnot if you didn't know that, otherwise you're driving around. But a lot of the delight and the fun of this game is actually, you know, kind of, I guess you would say, exploring the world and taking in what it has to offer. Are these, like, easier gigs? Let's see what this is like. See, with my main character, I literally just have no problem at all dealing with dealing with enemies. Let's take a look around. I mean, we've got a nice car, but actually we don't have a nice car. What happened to my red car? Anyways, we'll go around on foot a bit just so you can see again some of like the movement and stuff like that. But they really do have a world that is like kind of filled with things going on. Like there's NPCs doing this stuff, there's the characters going on. And if you were to, like, you know, throw this kind of thing out into the middle, you'd actually see the reactions, which I mentioned prior. You know, characters kind of actually react as if they're actual people to a degree now, which is nice. And you can kind of, like, brush into them and stuff like that. So they, you know, they really have actually made the effort to improve this experience and add extra value to what it has to offer. And this is a launching point that I'm very hopeful will take us to a situation where we are getting an experience that, you know, has even more story content with expansions, that hopefully continues to be something that grows over time. Because the core fundamental concept here is beautiful. I love the genre of cyberpunk and the concept of what it could be. And even like the NPCs, all different outfits and stuff now, which is such a cool thing. Like, you know, there's so much potential for this sort of thing, and it's just like, you know, the launching point wasn't a strong foundation, but where this could go, and hopefully will go, is somewhere that is promising and really thrilling for me to think about, because, you know, I do hope that this game hits the mark now for some people. You know, to me, it feels like almost like a whole new experience, which is, you know, rather exciting. Like, it's just like it's such a nice upgrade over what we've had in the past. Why do I have that set up? I don't even have like an assault rifle going on. Kind of weird. But yeah, this is basically Cyberpunk 2077, getting some of the combat going on. Yeah, like I said, usually I've got some really cool blades, and I'd be like flying around, stabbing people and stuff, and I'm sure some people are like that with their playthrough setups, but I was just kind of working through it just to see how everything was going, and, you know, story-wise, everything seemed to run fine. I didn't come across any problems, and I was actually, overall, quite impressed by what this had to offer. They really have improved things. It seems to be running quite well on the PlayStation 5. I don't really have anything I would really say that I was disappointed about. This really hit the mark for me, and I hope other people give it a whirl and maybe give it another chance.